Hey guys, Chris Vlogs here, back for day 13. And speaking of something getting just a little bit older, happy birthday, Josh!
Motherfucker. I just stayed up trying to beat fucking Final Fantasy 15 in the morning.
How late were you up?
I've been asleep for like 2.5 hours.
You want coffee? Okay, so we're back home. I almost missed my brother's swim lessons. I feel so bad about that. Sorry, Isaac. Yeah, so we barely made it there on time. We were just a few minutes late, I think, actually, but still got there. Got some errands done and all that, so only 10:22 right now in the morning, so I still got a good part of the day left. I have to work at 4. I'm charging the drone battery right now because there's actually a really cool fog going on just down the street here. I kind of want to fly my drone through it and above it and around it and just kind of get some cool shots of it. Just put it on because I'm an idiot. I didn't throw it on last night after I used it. Because Josh, Brandon, and I went out to the lake again, just had some fun. I decided to take my drone with me. I didn't take all my other camera stuff. So while I'm waiting for the drone battery to finish charging, I'm just going to draw out something here really quick for you guys. Because this is something that I think more people need to hear more often. So I'm just going to draw up a quick timeline of my passions and what, like, the phases I've gone through for my different passions. So I'm just going to start off here in elementary school. So starting sometime in my early years in elementary school, I think like 2nd or 3rd grade or something like that, my passion ultimately could be put down to astronomy. And the reason I was so into astronomy is because, well, I don't know, I just really liked space and I was a huge fan of it, and everything out there just looked so amazing, and I was just so fascinated by it all the time that, you know, I always just wanted to study it for a living. And the reason I wanted to be an astronomer instead of an astronaut is because I knew I didn't have the courage myself to actually go out into space. So I figured I would sit behind a telescope and observe it and just capture it in its full beauty. So this lasted all the way through elementary school, from like 2nd or 3rd grade all the way up through 5th. And then middle school hit. And come middle school, I got a little more realistic. It was not much. It was just kind of, I realized that there was a lot of work to astronomy, a lot of studying, and so much college and school experience you have to go through to become an astronomer. So I changed paths a little bit, and it kind of took an interesting turn. You probably wouldn't expect this. I decided I wanted to be a drummer in some sort of rock band. You know, I just wanted to start a band with my friends and become a drummer. So, come middle school, the option for band came up. So, naturally, I took it and joined the percussion section. Once I realized that band was mostly not actually drum set, it was just playing a bunch of different percussive instruments, I mean, I stuck through it for the next 3 years, but my expectations on my career changed, and my ideas for what I wanted to be changed as well. So then my dreams kind of went a little bit downhill. I didn't really have high expectations for myself anymore, so I wanted to become a math teacher. There's nothing wrong with being a math teacher, don't get me wrong, but the reason I thought this at the time is because I excelled in math. Like, I was in advanced classes for all 3 years. I'm still in advanced math classes, and it was just, I loved doing math. Math for me was so much fun, so I kept on doing it, you know, and I was doing it every year because I loved math, and I figured, well, my ultimate goal is to want to help people in some way, shape, or form, by this point in time anyways. So I figured, why not become a teacher? And math is my best subject, so I'll go to college and learn to teach math. So I kind of, over the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade, that transition to high school, I kind of got a little more self-esteem, and I kind of started realizing that my potential was a little bit higher than just being a math teacher, so I had some bigger aspirations. And it was also around this time that I had started becoming serious about YouTube. So I wanted to run a YouTube gaming channel. This was heavily inspired by Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and it was so much fun. I would always watch them, or I watched them constantly. They were so entertaining, and they would help me on my sad days, so I figured that if I could do the same thing as them, I would be satisfied by that, and I loved video games. I still do. So I thought it was the perfect fit for me. Until I realized that putting out daily content was extremely hard, and I was not prepared for it. So I started off with Shadow Sniper Gaming, and it didn't quite go out the way I wanted it to. So I kind of stopped on that for a little while, and then sophomore year actually, I had discovered a class called Media 1, and that was when I was finally introduced to filmmaking. And the reason I was introduced to this was because technically we weren't supposed to do a short film. Our project was supposed to be either a documentary or a public service announcement. But I was able to convince my teacher to let me get my point across in the form of a story. Hence, Priceless came about. And that was a huge turning point for me. It made me realize that, wow, this is a lot of fun. It was something I became really passionate about, so then I started Shadow Sniper Films, and it became a passion, like, almost instantly. It was something I wanted to do 24/7, and I couldn't wait to get out of school to do it. That ended up, like I said, becoming my passion for a while, and then it didn't quite pan out at first, and I kind of started fading away on it, thinking, oh, you know, I got the negative thoughts in my head, like, oh, I can't do this, there's no way, I'm never going to get big enough, I'm never going to be able to sustain a career in this field. So we had a poet come along in my English 10 class, and he came in to talk to us for a week and teach us what he could about poetry. And in that time, I discovered how much I loved writing. So I decided writer was my next future path. And that went on until the second semester of my junior year, actually. All I wanted to do was write. And so I took Shakespeare first semester of junior year, and that was an amazing class. We focused all on reading Shakespeare and then writing like sonnets and essays based off of his work. So that was a lot of fun. I got really addicted to it. Writing just kind of became my thing, and I kept thinking, you know, it's still an artistic form. Writing was like the main part that I enjoyed doing in filmmaking anyways. So I could just become a writer. Like, I could just write scripts, I could write books, I even started writing my own novels. But I realized that writing wasn't enough. I needed to be getting out and doing hands-on stuff. So I went back to filmmaking. And that's why I'm still continuing Shadow Sniper Films as much as I am. It is why I talk about so much stuff about Shadow Sniper Films on Chris Vlogs. And why I have all of this camera equipment over here, because that self-esteem came back, and my feeling of I can accomplish this came back. So basically, all I really wanted to get across here by showing you guys kind of my chain of passions throughout the years is to show you that you will never have one clear answer of what you want to do in the future until you find that one thing that just constantly makes you come back to it. And that's why I know that filmmaking is what I want to do for my future, because I've relapsed. I went through filmmaking at first, became almost instantly addicted, and then only dropped out of it because I had such low self-esteem and a feeling of I can't do this. So then it kind of hit me one day like, well, I really can do this. I just need to put time and effort into it, and I can accomplish this. So I've been doing everything in my power to actually work on getting to the point where I can make a living off of filmmaking. It's just a matter of finding your passion, figuring out what it is for sure, and then going all out with it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. I am doing everything that I can to make sure this is where I end up, that I end up doing this for a living. So I just kind of wanted to share that all to you really quick. I think that that's important for a lot of people that sometimes can't find their way or can't figure out what it is they want to do. So I hope that helped any of you. If not, then I'm sorry. I probably just wasted your time, but I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've been kind of sitting on that for a while now. Anyways, I am gonna go over to the college, I'm thinking. Go fly my drone over there for a bit, so bring this camera with me and get some little B-roll for it. So I'm gonna head out really quick. Okay, so this actually looks like a good enough spot for the moment. I'm just gonna take off right around here. I'm guessing this looks like a decent enough place, so I'll go ahead and do some flying.
in the sky. Richmond in the sky.
All in all, great flight. A lot of fun. I have about an hour before I gotta head into work. But yeah, fun day. Okay, so before I forget, guys, Brandon, Josh, and I went on a trip yesterday out to the lake. I think I might have mentioned that earlier, but I also mentioned the fact that I took my drone. So here are some of the shots from it. I'm just gonna put this into a little birthday montage for Josh. Hope you enjoy it, buddy. Happy 17th.
Richmond in the sky.